Once a suspect is arrested for a crime like murder, families hope for justice to be swift. But in Cook County, that's when a big hurdle starts to emerge.
Yeah, the court system. CBS 2 investigator Megan Hickey discovered that's where justice gets delayed because of a backlog of pending cases.
You took my son's life. You took my sunshine from me.
Tracy Brumfield never imagined there could be something so excruciating
It was right before.
as losing her only son.
This is last picture that he took with his kids.
Kashawn Slaughter was just 26.
When I come in the front door, even though if I'm having a bad day, his smile is gonna be, I know it's gonna be okay.
Someone shot her son in the back of the head near this convenience store at Laughlin and 115th. Slaughter and his 11-year-old stepson were going to a carnival. The boy was also shot. He survived. Since that day, Tracy has been consumed with knowing why.
You literally camped out at the
I
police.
literally camped out. The police, they all knew me. They'd be like, hey, Miss Brumfield. I never found out why, but I want to find out who did it.
It didn't happen last week, last month, or even last year. That was April 2017. A suspect was arrested and charged that July, but Tracy says that's when an even deeper agony set in. The wait.
Did you think you'd have justice by now?
Yes, I did. I felt that I would have justice by now. It's been, 5 years? 5 years.
About 20 miles away in Humboldt Park, time is still standing still for another heartbroken mom.
It's been 5 years. Well, it'll be 5 years this June.
Sharon Hatchett was home when her son was shot in his bedroom, stumbled down the stairs, and fell into her arms. Sharon says she recognized the shooter as her son's girlfriend's brother and confronted him in the stairwell as he ran from the crime scene.
He tried to shoot, but the gun, I don't know what happened. It didn't shoot me. It didn't launch any bullets.
And he pulled the trigger, though.
He pulled the trigger. And when he did, I released him. And he ran out the door.
29-year-old Ryan Hatchett had been shot in the abdomen. The damage so extensive, Sharon had to let him go.
God gave me 36 hours with him. 36 hours.
He knew you were going to get justice.
Yes, and that's all I want is justice for my child.
After running off to Iowa, the accused shooter was caught and charged in 2019. But just like Tracy, still no trial. The man charged in Ryan's case has been in jail since his arrest 1,357 days. During that time, 50 court dates have come and gone. COVID-19 stalled the case for 6 months. His public defender withdrew. Now the suspect's representing himself, furthering the delays.
Another court date, another court date. Push it back, push it back. My heart drops every time.
The picture is similar for Tracy. The man charged with her son's death has been a resident of the Cook County Jail since his arrest in 2017. That's 2,071 days. And he's had over 60 court dates in that time.
How many times do you think you've been to court?
50.
50 times?
Yes, maybe over.
What's the holdup? One way to look at it is there are simply more cases. The CBS 2 investigators dug into the Illinois courts data and discovered pending criminal cases in Cook County skyrocketed to more than 250,000 in 2020. They ticked down slightly in 2021, but that's still the highest they've been in 20 years. At the same time, pending misdemeanor cases have also been surging. And what about more serious cases, like the murders of the two sons?
It's not okay to put families on hold like that.
For years, pending felony cases hovered around 23 or 24,000. But the pandemic hit, the courts were closed, and that number rose to more than 29,000 in 2020. In 2021, the last full year we have data for, it ticked down to over 27,000. But that's still the highest it's been in nearly a decade.
And all of that is incredibly concerning.
Sarah Stout is the director of policy at Chicago Appleseed Center for Fair Courts. It's a nonprofit that tries to address systemic problems in the courts, particularly around race and poverty. And Stout says it's not just victims' families impacted by the delays.
Murder cases often go to trial, and it's relatively frequent that people are found not guilty. And so we've got people who are sitting in jail for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, only to be found not guilty of what they're accused of. which means that they've lost 5 years of their life. And the family of the murder victim is no closer to having a real resolution to the case.
Stout explained long before COVID, Chicago has had problems that make the process take longer.
Chicago, by sort of custom, has people come back to court every month or every 6 weeks, even if there's really not much progress on the case.
She says routine types of evidence can take months to obtain, and judges rarely hold government agencies accountable when they fail to deliver documents on time.
And that's a problem because it also takes up lawyers' time. And so when lawyers might otherwise be able to spend a lot of time working cases and hopefully getting them moving faster, instead, Chicago lawyers spend a lot of time in court.
And 2020 made the issue more obvious.
If your case started before the pandemic, then yes, the total amount of time you're waiting is longer.
Stout said the bulk of cases filed in Cook County used to be drug cases. Now they're gun possession cases, and those take longer to resolve.
What's the holdup here?
Tracy was told a trial would happen in fall 2022. She got her hopes up, and then it was pushed. She and Sharon tell me they'd like more communication while they wait and wait and wait for justice.
I will get justice. Yes, I will.
I would like more explanation. Okay, what am I coming back for? It's been 5 years. What am I coming back for? What's going on?
So what about the right to a speedy trial? Stout says that for defendants in Illinois, that means 120 days from the time that he or she is taken into custody. But that right is for defendants, not for victims' families. And they rarely ever exercise it because they might be rushing into trial. Reporting in the Loop, Megan Hickey, CBS 2 Investigators.
The state's attorney's office got back to us and verified the case backlog has been higher than usual since the pandemic because 70% fewer pleas are being entered. Historically, the office says that's how most felony cases are resolved. You can read the entire statement on our website, cbschicago.com.